I've heard some crazy stories about him. I mean, I think the thing about Puff that ultimately got him is that it doesn't seem like he really respects people. It's a level of like just a base level of I don't really have to respect you because of who I am. So if there's something I want out of you, I'm just gonna ask for it or I'm gonna demand it, and I don't really care how you take it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, it's man. I keep saying the same thing. It's the male ego unchecked, and man, and it's the fantasy world. I mean, think about it, like there's millionaires turning into gangsters. You know that
Who does that?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a lot of. You just mentioned Drake. You know, God bless him, dude. Like, I don't know the dude, but he's clearly a middle class. Well, not middle. I mean, he's very rich dude.
He grew up middle class. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, it's tragic if he feels like he's gotta live this gangster lifestyle. What the hell's wrong with your life? The fact that you are fucking brilliant. He's got a hell of a sense of humor. He's a natural performer. Like, why go to the dark side? Why do you have to? So many people feel like they got to prove that they're like gully. Like, it's so crazy. Like, okay, real killers, real tough guys don't have to prove that shit. They just don't. And people are happy. People are happy as being who the fuck they are.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you, but I actually had a near confrontation with Drake's crew at one point.
Uh-huh.
It was in New Orleans around 2013. It was the All-Star weekend in New Orleans. A bunch of us were on stage. It was like me, we're all just kind of hanging out on stage at this club. It was me, Meek Mill was there with his crew, and Drake was there with his crew, right? I had my security with me. And I remember when I had met Drake maybe a month or so earlier, I was like, oh, Drake, Vlad from Vlad TV. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, man, stop talking shit about me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because, I had Charlamagne on my show a lot that was talking shit about him.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
like, I didn't say anything. I'm like, yo, bro, we love you. Like, what are you talking about? So I ran into him again, and I'm not really getting the hint at this point. I'm like taking pictures. Yo, can we take a picture? And it's like, okay, whatever. I met like one of his like little right-hand man's, this dude Chubbs. And, I'm talking to him, we exchange numbers, whatever. So I guess when I walked away, Chubbs talked to Drake, and Drake probably was like, oh, yeah, Vlad. Oh, yeah, he be talking shit about me or something, right? So next thing I know, this guy Chubbs gets in my face. And he's like, he's got a couple of people with him. He's like, yo, man, why you talking shit about my man Drake? I said, I have never talked shit about Drake, right? He goes, no, he said he's talking shit about him. I said, I've had people on my show that talk shit about him. I've never said anything. He's like who? Like Charlamagne. Well, that's on you too. And I said, okay. I look back and I motion for my security to walk over. He's like, yeah, call your people. And it's like starting to escalate, right? And my security, who's like this Navy SEAL dude, gets in between us. He's like, what's the problem? And then, but at this point, people are starting to kind of gather around. And I'm like, yo, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave. My security wants to come back and confront him. I said, are you crazy? I said, this is going to start a whole thing. Like, we're done.
Everybody wants to prove themselves.
But the fact that this dude gets, and he's like in my face, right? He's like, yo, man, and I'm like,
yeah.
I've done more. And I was literally like, in retrospect, I'm like, yo, like I literally have hundreds of articles praising this guy out of all his accomplishments. There's tons of interviews talking about how great he is, people around him, whatever else. I get one guy on there that talks trash, and now it's almost a fight.
It's just what
it's ridiculous,
dude, man. What it is? People always want to prove their damn self, and if you look like an easy mark, that gives them a chance to swell up. Everybody wants to.
Right, because he thought I was by myself.
Everybody,
because my security was standing kind of like a little lower down.
You don't
so he
understand.
thought I was by myself.
I get everybody's goddamn tough guy story. You know what I mean? Like I could be sitting down with the head of a studio. He's like, well, when I was in college, I used to wrestle. I was kind of a tough. Like, why the fuck am I hearing your tough guy story? I hear so many people's tough guy story. Deep down, everybody wants to prove themselves.
They're tough too.
And so it's like, it's just what's natural. People trade stories, and everybody thinks that they want to trade a story with me. They want to talk about like how you ever had to hurt somebody, whatever. Everybody wants to tell their tough guy story. So when you're around that machismo, all that kind of shit, and you look like a mark where somebody can be like, oh shit, yeah, oh, and they can step to you because you don't present yourself as a tough guy. So now he can get some street cred or whatever. So people,
I stepped to Vlad.
Yeah, people do. They look for the opportunity
to be. It didn't stop me bringing people on my show talking shit about Drake. Let me tell you that.
But that's what people do, man. They do. They don't look. It's what weak ass people do. They're trying to prove themselves. Like I say, man, I've been around it so much. How many times people want to prove that they're tough to me, and it's you don't know how fucking stupid you look. But they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand that. Real tough people don't have to fucking prove it. And so, like, stop. So, yeah, you're always going to hear the tough guy story. Somebody always wants to swell their chest up, and it's kind of part of the same thing that we're talking about. That I go, damn, man, homeboy, you don't have to prove that you're tough, man. Be who you are. Mm-hmm. It's just, it don't get nobody nowhere doing that shit. It's just, you're portraying something that you're not. Somebody gonna check. Now you got to worry about shit. It's just silly. But it's what people do when they get power. Especially if they're, I could name names, but all you got to do is think about it. Look how many rappers try to be gangster type people when deep down they're nothing like that.
Right.
They're nothing like that. They're creatives.
Poets.
Yeah.
Most rappers are poets.
Yeah.
When you look at poets throughout history, that's essentially a rapper.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. Back in the day, they had feathers in their hair and frilly outfits.
Yeah, that's
and now they have chains and,
yeah,
Louis Vuitton, but it's all the same thing.
That's why I love people like Ice-T. I love this man. I used to hate that dude. When I didn't know him, I was like, I don't believe you. Like I was kind of like, he was, he like had very, demonstrative lyrics and but that turned out to be one of the smartest, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And he just basically said like, yo, that's part of a persona I put out there. And he's just the chillest dude ever. But like people like him, like he's healthy. Like he did it for means to an end. But when you start to see who these people really are, the Snoops and the Dre's and the Ice Cubes and people like that with LL with long successful marriages and happy families, it's kind of trippy when you go, how many of these guys encourage people to become gangsters just because of the persona?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not on purpose, but it's just as a residual. There are people who bought into a certain image and they just kept going, So
look, you couldn't convince me that Ice Cube wasn't like the hardest gangster of all time with that first NWA album.
My God, he was the most clever. Man, my God, those lyrics.
Motherfuckers I slaughter and blow them out the water.
Yeah, my goodness, man. Yeah.
Sawed off shotgun, like,
yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
So if you had that within you, man.
Beat the police out of shape. He got beats up cops. He shoots people with shotguns. He slaughters people. He beats everyone up.
Yeah.
This is a guy who does family movies now.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And movies about snakes.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, it's a little, it's funny. It's funny to me.
It is, Yeah, it's made for comedy, the whole thing, in a way where, I don't know, it's images, man. It's images, who knows? Maybe I'm encouraging people to kick the shit out of people, which in real life I'm a very, very even tempered. I'm not, I can't imagine like losing my temper enough to like do something to somebody. Like I can't even imagine that. Like where would be the case where I would really lose it to where I would jeopardize my career, family, and everything else by beating the shit out of somebody?